All right, good morning, everyone. This is Matt Ing, 1997. I'm doing a discussion on Tropical Storm Erika, which has developed in the Atlantic Ocean yesterday. We're going to talk about what it's expected to do over the next several days and what its potential might be. So here's a brief summary of Erika as of this morning. Erika is slightly better organized than it was overnight. The winds have increased to 45 miles per hour as of the latest intermediate advisory. Tropical storm warnings have been posted for the northern Leeward Islands and Puerto Rico. Tropical storm watch is also in effect for mostly towards the central Leeward Islands. Strengthening is forecast to continue for the next few days. Strengthening will probably be slow at first, but then a more steady period of strengthening looks probable later in a few days. It could become a hurricane late in the period, and when I'm talking about a period is like 5 days from now. So it could become a hurricane closer to then. And we're going to discuss a potential United States threat. So here is the latest radar imagery of Erika as of this morning. As you can see, it is producing vigorous convection, which does appear to be a little bit more centralized than it was last night, because last night it looked like the convection was pretty displaced, like off more to the north of the center of low pressure. So it is producing a good deal of thunderstorms, which is really good. That means that the thing is becoming more healthy. It definitely looks a lot better organized than it was last night. However, it still has a lot of organizing to do before it's really much of anything. So we're going to continue to watch that for sure. And as you can see on the northern end, we do have some thunderstorms developing. So there's some additional convection forming there. This is the latest National Hurricane Center tracking. This is as of intermediate advisory number 6A. As you can see where the tropical storm warnings and watches are in effect. Puerto Rico and the leewards affected right now. Sorry for the image being stretched. I kind of wanted it to fill the presentation a little bit. But as you can see, it looks like it's going to pass over the northern leewards early tomorrow morning as a weak tropical storm. Probably not going to have winds much higher than 50 miles per hour, judging by the current rates of intensification. It will pass very close, possibly over. We're not sure. Looks like it's going to pass just north of Puerto Rico, if not over the area. Also, as a weak to possibly moderate tropical storm, it just really depends on how much additional strengthening occurs in the next 48 hours. So I'm saying a weak to moderate tropical storm for Puerto Rico. Looks like it'll then dodge to the north of Haiti and Dominican Republic. Probably not going to make landfall unless there was obviously, if the track would shift south, then it would potentially make landfall there. But it looks like it's going to go to the north. Then after that, it actually picks up speed quite a bit, and it will be entering a very favorable environment, which I'm going to show you here in just a little bit. Be moving into a more favorable environment, so we're looking at some intensification occurring around the Bahamas. And then, as you can see, by 2 a.m. Monday, it is a hurricane off the coast of Florida. And this is judging by the latest track here. Here are what you would call the spaghetti models. These are what the computer models are all saying. They are in better agreement than what they were yesterday. They're a lot better agreement. However, we still have a few models that are not following the general consensus. As you can see, there is, even at the end of the period, all the models, or most of the models, are pointing to the same general direction. However, there is still quite a bit of spread at the end of the period, which is expected. So we have, let's talk about the outliers first. Some of the outliers, especially this one that I can't read because they're too close together, they're the GF, it's the GF family is what I call it. As you can see, both of them are really north. They bring this disturbance much farther north. As a matter of fact, the two pink ones, the GF ones that are kind of converged, or pretty close to converge, actually sail it completely north to the leewards, even tonight. And then it curves it out to sea and doesn't do anything. However, the GFN1, or the GFNI, which is also related, kind of follows it more closely to the other models, but then, as you can see, it makes a sharp northward turn towards the Carolinas, or towards North Carolina at least. But here, and then we have a few that go more southward. Looks like there's a few that take it over the far northern part of Cuba, and then takes it south of Florida into the Gulf. So that is a possibility. But it seems like currently the most likely scenario, which again, everything should be taken with a grain of salt because a lot could change between now and 5 days from now, which could have a huge impact on where this thing goes. But by the latest spaghetti models, it looks like a Florida impact, or an eventual Florida impact, looks to be the scenario. Looks like it'll come up through southern Florida. But again, as you can see, there's quite a bit of spread among them. So we'll see what it does. So my thinking is that if it goes far enough south, if it could cut across southern Florida, like the Miami area, and it'll keep going like what Andrew did. Not saying that it'll be as strong as what Hurricane Andrew was, but I'm just saying it could do something similar to what Andrew did. It'll cut across Florida, then it'll enter the Gulf, and it'll make landfall somewhere in the Gulf. But that, again, that's really far out. I cannot stress that enough. It's far enough away that you should not be concerned about it yet. Even those in Florida, those of you who are in Florida or Georgia or even as far north as the Carolinas, definitely keep an eye on the system for sure. But don't take everything with a grain of salt. Don't get too ahead with what the forecast is saying as of right now. All right, we're going to take a look at potential intensity. So you can see down here, I'm not sure if you can see the cursor or not, but I pointed to the center of Tropical Storm Erika as of this morning. As you can see, it is in a rather sheared environment. The shear isn't too terrible, but there is some shear, and that's what's causing the strengthening to be slow. It is strengthening despite the shear, and it's going to be around this area of shear at least for the next 48 hours before it passes through. But beyond that, I'm going to move my cursor over here. I again don't know if you can see it, but over here toward north of Haiti, by Cuba, and around the Bahamas, the shear is extremely low. Very low shear environment. So I'm thinking this area is going to be the area where we're going to see the most intensification. It could very well be, it could very well be rapid intensification. There is a possibility that the intensification could be rather rapid because the ocean waters in this area are in the middle 80s in some areas. So that's very warm water, and then there's low shear. That's the perfect environment of what you would need for a much stronger tropical cyclone to develop. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as it is expected to pass in this area in a few days. So we'll have to see what it does. And this is the last image on my presentation here. Well, this is the model intensity guidance. As you can see, the intensity guidance is not agreeing whatsoever. So there's no way of knowing for sure how strong this thing is going to be. It looks like, we could be looking at anywhere from a weak to moderate tropical storm that has troubles organizing to a full-blown major hurricane. Now, more and more the models are agreeing on bringing this disturbance at least to hurricane strength, at the least. I kind of did a little count of how many bring into at least Category 1. And I counted a total of 11 of these little spaghetti models, I guess you could say, bringing it to at least Category 1 strength. As you can see, the GFT and the GF family, once again, are so crazy that they bring this thing all the way to borderline Category 5. Now, I would say that is highly, highly unlikely, so don't get too caught up if you see a map like this. I highly doubt we're going to be looking at a disturbance of that magnitude. But this is something we'll definitely have to keep watch, as it could end up being a threat to the United States. But right now, can't really put too much. Can't really get too worried about it, as a lot could change between now and 5 days. So keep checking back for updates. I will have more updates on this disturbance as needed. Thank you for watching this.